So, this is Dune Imperium. It's originally a board game, but there is a digital version now in early access on Steam. It's one of my favourite board games. I haven't played it enough times to say that really authoritatively, but I've loved it every time I've played it. And so I'm very happy that there's a digital version now. It is. I've never improved at something less than I have at this game. With repeated plays, again, I haven't played it a ton of times, like maybe 10 times total, including digital. But I won the first game I played. I haven't won a game against other people since. And actually, most of the times I've played, whoever I'm introducing it to wins the game. And yet, it doesn't feel random. It is a game. It's a sort of combination deck builder and worker placement. Worker placement being a more familiar thing to board gamers than video gamers, I would say. But you're going to use your cards to send agents to these different spaces, and we'll each take it in turns. Actually, Earl Memnon Thorvald has already taken his first turn, so his first little yellow agent is gone. He sent it to this Fremen space to get some water. We're each going to take turns doing that until we all run out of agents, usually. And then when we run out of agents, all the cards you didn't play to send agents somewhere, you get to reveal them. And these icons at the bottom of them are what you get when you reveal. The blue diamonds are the currency used to buy cards. This is the card shop. So it's actually a really good shop right now. Like, these two are both great cards. And I will say, maybe more than most deck builders, cards that cost a lot are really good. You can, as a beginner, you can just be like, oh, it costs 6, it's probably great. It is. And yeah, I'm playing as each leader has their own little fancy thing. How do I get rid of this? I'm clicking away from it. I have to click back on the icon. That's done. My character special ability is that I can basically reserve something in the shop when I have my signet ring, which I don't. That was my deck, not my hand, so I can't do that this turn. Actually, that's really annoying. So the decision facing me is I could use these cards to send my agents places. The first priority I would say is you want to get some money together, some Solari, in order to either get your third agent, which means you take 3. You can send 3 agents around every. You can send out 3 agents every round. A round is when we all take our turns. There's going to be 10 rounds in total. Or you get this thing, which is 2 free persuasion every round. So I've come to believe this is better, but again, that comes with a pinch of salt because I haven't got any better at this game. I've sort of got worse. I also think my latest thinking is that early on it really does matter about buying cards. That's what matters a lot early on. And later in the game, you get the less deck building matters. You still want persuasion because you can buy a victory point with these things, but we'll get to that later. So I'm actually considering not sending any agents anywhere because I have 6 persuasion and there's 2 great cards that both cost 6. I don't know which one I'll get. The other way to look at it is that this guy, he went first. I'll be second. It kind of goes down and then loops back. So he's not going to have 12 persuasion. He may not even have 6. So there's basically no chance that both of these will go before I get a chance to buy them. So I probably don't need to reveal. But then, of course, I don't want to use these cards to send agents to different places, because then I'll have less persuasion. So, given all this, a plan is forming. Because this dagger is the only one I can spend without losing any persuasion, because it doesn't get me any persuasion, it gives me a dagger. It gives me some military power. I'll get to the conflicts later. I'm not interested in this conflict. I'm playing against AI, by the way, and AI tends to go really hard on all conflicts, basically. There's nothing they don't go hard on. And I have particular objectives in mind with fights. So, my plan is, if I can use this to go to any green space, any of these, cool. But then, I can't send my second agent anywhere, because to spend any of these, I would lose some of that persuasion in the reveal phase. This will all make more sense when I actually go through it, but forgive me for thinking out loud for a bit. I also want to talk about the design in this game, so this will be a little bit slow in general. Usually takes me an hour to play a match, and it will probably take longer with explaining. So what I'm thinking about doing is using my dagger to go to this space specifically, because this one actually gets me a persuasion. So then next turn, I could use one of these other cards that only has 1 persuasion and still end up with 6. So I lose none and I gain 1, then I lose 1, and that's a net 0. So yeah, I'm going to do that. So, oh yeah, I can set it to a green place because of the green icon on the dagger card. Those will become more relevant later. It gets me a persuasion. It also gets me a troop, which is nice. I don't really especially need it right now. But yeah, that's my turn. So now you won't be able to see the little animations that are happening here to show you what cards people are playing, but that's okay if you don't know the game, because they would be meaningless to you anyway. This guy has, Paul Atreides in fact, has gone to the fold space thing, which is sort of a... This space he's gone to isn't very useful in itself, but it does help you later on get to this space, which is probably the best space in the game, which is it's hugely expensive. You get 5 troops, 2 water, and you can put them in the conflict. The place I went, it got me a troop, but it doesn't have that little clutch swords thing, which means I can't use that troop. I can't send that troop to the conflict on that turn. I can later, but not in the moment. This is the rare place where you get a ton of troops and you can put them in the fight, so it's great for just like suddenly winning a combat. Okay, so I am on 7 persuasion, which is good. I can afford to spend 1, and this guy takes me to blue places. There's lots of good blue places, and actually my leader's other special ability is that I can't be blocked on blue spaces. Usually this is a game about people taking all the good stuff before you can get to it, and so I can't go to this space, I can't go to this space. I didn't have the cards for it anyway, but even if I did, I wouldn't be able to because they've been taken. I can still go to the blue space even though this guy took it, because of my leader's special ability. And that is probably my first pick. If I was behind on persuasion, if I really needed the 7 or whatever, I might be tempted to go for this one because it draws a card, and the card I draw could have persuasion on it. It would be no use to me in terms of sending agents anywhere because I'd be out of agents by the time I draw it, but this one draws an intrigue card. Intrigue cards are one of the things I struggled with because I know they're good, but you don't know what they're going to do. They're all different, and some of them are useless to you in a certain situation. And it's very hard for me. This is a game of like everything's competing for your attention. Like you desperately need money as soon as humanly possible. You desperately need this space on here as soon as humanly possible. You desperately need to start getting the 2 influence with the Fremen so you can unlock this space as soon as possible. You need to be harvesting that spice as soon as possible. Like everything is urgent. And so getting an intrigue card is something I've never prioritized early on before. But they can be game changers. I mean, they almost always are. They almost always play a key role in the outcome of the match. And the earlier you get them, if they are something that you might want to pivot your whole strategy around, obviously getting it early is going to be a big deal. So I am going to go to this place. So I got a thing that lets me trade 3 money for 3 troops. That's a pretty good exchange rate. If it's your reveal turn, you may deploy any of these troops to the conflict. So that's very cool because the conflict, I guess I'll get into it when I actually get into a conflict. I could right now, and actually, let's see, red guy, Paul Atreides, he's got 3 troops in his garrison, he's got 1 agent left, so he'll have not 1 opportunity to put people in. If he puts none in, I'd be crazy not to put 1 in at least, because getting 3, I'm not going to take the top spot, but I could get the 3 Solari, and like I say, early on you really need the money. It definitely makes sense to put 1 in. He can just put 1 in as well. I've got no daggers now. Wait. I'm confused. Why do I have 6 here? I only count 5. Am I wrong? I'm puzzled by that. Oh, because I gained 1 here. I see. It's sort of yeah. I remember what I did now. So should I put 2 in? If I put 2 in, like if this was a human player and he sees 2, he's not going to put all 3 in to get 2nd place here, right? So that would work in a human game. Is 2 troops for 3 Solari worth it? Well, I can spend 3 Solari to get 3 troops, so yeah. But I might be able to get it with just the 1. But since I'm saying 2 troops is worth 3 Solari, I think that means he would do it. Trouble is, I'm playing against the easy AI. Like I say, I'm not good at this game. I can't reliably beat the easy AI. I often beat them, but not reliably. And their decision making is hard to predict. If they were the best AI, it would be hard to predict because they don't know how to play the game well. And if they're bad AI, they're hard to predict because they might not do the optimal thing. Yeah, I'm not happy about it, but I'm going to do it. He's not going to put 3 in. What the fuck? He just played the exact card I got. Wait, what's going on? Oh no, maybe I hovered over it. Sorry, I'm a little bit spacing out. I thought it was telling me he played that card. I usually play with gamepad and I'm playing with mouse now, so I'm not used to like things just popping up in the center of your screen when you're not expecting it. This is good. He has not put anything in there, so I'm pretty much guaranteed second place at this point. He could have daggers in his hand, like I had that dagger, I spent it, so I don't get that. But even if he had daggers in his hand, he doesn't get to use them if he didn't put any troops in. All these troops will die, so that's the downside of doing this. Okay, beautiful. I got first pick on these things. That is lovely. Honestly, they're both so good, it's hard to say what I should choose. So this guy, when I use him to send an agent out, I get 2 troops and draw a card. If I don't send him out, I get 2 persuasion, and I can spend 3 to add 2. I guess we did just see an illustration of what I was talking about with conflict, where the reason this is good, and the reason it mentions the reveal turn, this is the reveal turn now, is it's kind of all over. Everyone's sent their agents everywhere, so people are very limited in how much they can now change, how much to invest in the combat. And so it's all about betting on like how much did they want it? Can I sort of intimidate them into not spending any? And obviously, the later you can adjust your bet, the better you can control it. So he's a good troop one in general. It's nice to build up troops. Those troops, because you get them when you play with an agent, you can send them all into the conflict that turn. Assuming you go to a combat space. This one, the 2 spice is nice. It can go to yellow places and blue places. That's more useful, obviously. And yeah, spice. The thing spice is good for is this space I really like, where you get to trash a card and draw 2 cards. So the trashing is long-term deck building. You're making your deck leaner and better. And then, because it also draws 2 cards, you're not really making a short-term sacrifice other than spending the spice. And then this one is like I say, probably the best space in the game, and having that 6 spice, especially if you time it so that you're the first player, when you have 6 spice ready, you'll have first dibs on this. And if the conflict, later on in the game, the conflict could be like 2 victory points, you win the game when you get 10 victory points, or at least the game ends when someone hits 10 victory points. So 2 victory points is insane, and this can just win you that straight off. So spice is very, very good. And then this has a ton of daggers, so if you have Influence of the Fremen, which you get by just going to their spaces, I would have this extra combat power. I'm leaning towards Worm Riders. I think I really value flexibility in where I can send my agents. I do like drawing the cards, because that's early on especially. Now, this has no persuasion, which is bad. So actually, this is a better card later in the game, and this is a better card earlier in the game. So now I'm leaning back towards this. But then getting spice early is also good. I think I'm going to go for this, because the 2 could really pay off early. Again, I'm not familiar with mouse controls, so I'm a little bit fuzzy on how you buy things. We might turn first next time. So Paul will have a chance to buy here, but actually it's not likely he's not going to buy both of these. The thing that just came out, Gunthopter, is also amazing. It goes really well with Worm Riders, actually, because having a lot of daggers on your cards is just like a good strategy, I think. Yeah, so he's not likely to buy both of those. He can only afford the Thopter. I think I'll buy it. Yeah, he did. So if I can get 6 again next turn, that'd be great. That was in terms of where I sent my agents, wasn't a great turn for what I got done with those agents, but it was a great turn for getting that really important card. Buying a 6 on your first turn, on your first round, I think is pretty good going. Again, the bar is low. Oh, actually, yeah, it kind of was. It was a good round, because by getting those troops, I could afford those troops, and I could afford to spend those troops, and I could afford to spend them on a conflict that then got me 3 Solari, which is one of the better things, probably one of the best things they could have got with the single agent on that turn anyway. So, this turn, I've only got 3 persuasion. That's terrible. I do have my signet ring, which means I can spend that and reserve something for myself. I could do that to buy. It also gets 1 cheaper when I reserve it. But I'm looking at all this stuff and thinking, you know, I can't get the Worm Riders. I can't really get the power play. I could use my reserve just to spite other people, just to make sure they can't get it. In doing so, I also can't get it on a future turn, but that's, you know, at this point, I'm unlikely to get it if I can't buy it this turn. I'm kind of thinking, since I have a bad persuasion turn, maybe I just forget about persuasion this turn, and I focus on either faction stuff. So these special icons on this card means I can go to these places. And these have decent rewards in themselves, but also there's a lot of victory points to be got from going there, because just going to the same faction twice gets you a victory point automatically when you reach this point on the track. And then if you reach to this gold zone up here, you get another victory point for having the alliance, as long as no one overtakes you there. So you usually want to try and get 1 alliance at least. And the Fremen one's especially good because you can, once you have 2 influence with them, you unlock this space. And these are the only 2 spaces on the board. Well, not quite. They're the only 2 free spaces on the board that get you a water. This one gets you water, but it's wildly expensive. So, I'm really focusing on getting 5 Solari together for this. So maybe I could do a bit of both. I could go to the Empire space, and in doing so, get that 2 Solari and some faction influence. That's probably the move. Oh, and then, yes, okay, and then the next thing I do will be use my signet ring to actually get my 2 Solari bonus here. This is a good combat reward, and I'm in a reasonably strong position here, but I'm not going to spend Solari on it. Yeah, I think I won't get a chance to participate in the combat this turn. It's always one of the unique pleasures of this game is that it's the feeling of other people going hard on something that you're just going to stay out of completely. Like, you don't get anything for that. You don't, you know, get a prize for staying out of a combat, but we're seeing, like, if this guy goes to, like, 5 troops in, and this guy goes 6 troops in, and this guy puts in another 2, and this guy, like, plays an intrigue card, and they're just absolutely scrapping it out, and just, the pleasure of just standing back and saying, that is costing you both a terrible, terrible price, and I'm so glad I didn't participate. So yeah, Signet Ring, I can reserve something for myself. I've only got 3 now. After I play my Signet Ring, I'll only have 2. But I'm going to use it to send my agent to here, which gets me 2 this turn and all future turns. So I'll end up with 4. The Signet Ring itself can also reserve something, and reserving something reduces its price by 1. So I believe if I reserve Power Play, I'll be able to buy it. If I reserve Worm Riders, I can't buy it, but I also stop other people from buying it, and it's very good. There's literally no way I could get it right. Because even if I spent a dagger, which costs no persuasion, to gain a persuasion, I would still only have 4, and then I haven't spent my Signet Ring to reserve it, so it wouldn't be any cheaper, so no. I think Signet Ring is the play. It's just very annoying I can't get Worm Riders. It would be crazy to spend my energy to deprive other people of it, when I could actually get a good card myself. This thing's really good for, like, sneaking an alliance. You can sort of, because you can suddenly get a lot of influence with a faction. You can overtake people. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I will indeed. And it's going to be this one. It gets replaced by something else. What it got replaced by is pretty good. It's hard to say which is better, actually, out of those 2. these these spaces get you spices, and the amount of spice you get for going there keeps increasing the longer nobody goes there. So red has gone hard on spice. He's gone to both of them this turn, both of these ones. And this one, it's already got 4 spice on it. Next turn it will have 5 spice on it, which would be cool to get, except it requires 2 water, and I only have 1 water, so I won't be going there. So my maths paid off. It's honestly hard to say which is better out of here. So this one, you get to go to the faction spaces and get 2 influence with them. This one, you don't get to go to the faction spaces. You've got to go to green, which is bad. Early on green's nice, but it will quickly become not useful. Or yellow, which is good. But then you're going to pay 2 spice to reduce your influence with one faction and gain 2 with another. That sounds, at first blush I didn't think that sounded like a great deal. I've come to appreciate that it is a good deal. And if I have that and I have the spice, I will pretty much always use it. And then it's also got this, I think it's too many different costs. It's less mobility for my agents. Spice that I don't have yet, and I don't really have like a spice strategy. So it's going to be this one, I think. Someone's going to get Worm Riders, and that makes me sad. But I'm doing pretty well for future. I didn't see... Oh, he couldn't afford it. The other guy's only got 3 cards. He can't afford it either. Ooh, maybe I can get it. He got Shifting Allegiances though, which is a good pick. Because I've got 2 free influence now. Persuasion, sorry. I would have liked to have been contender for that, but 4 troops, I don't think I was ever going to spend that much. Okay, I got Power Play right away. I got Gurney Halleck as well. I kind of forgot I had him, actually. He's actually a pretty good card for this leader, especially because he can only go to blue, but blues can't be blocked to me, so I can always get whichever blue I want. So the 2 things I'm thinking about this time are getting the troops, because even if I don't want to get into this conflict specifically, just gaining 2 troops is great. Anyway, I could send, if I send this guy to this space, he gives me 2 troops in a card, this gives me 1 troop in a card. That is 3 troops and 2 cards. I'm sorry, my brain is not all there. So I like Power Play. I'm pretty tempted. Oh wait, let's look at influence. I got 7. So I am pretty tempted. I get a lot done here because if I do Power Play to the Fremen space with water, I then have enough water to take this at some point. So does yellow guy. He's actually out of spice, so it's quite likely he'll go there. What I was thinking, if he doesn't go there, then red won't either. And then next round, it'll have 3 on it, like 6 total. But this guy will go first next round, so that is not so useful to me. It'd be a shame not to play Gurney, although... No, actually, he's doing me a lot of good just by being there, because there's a path here for me to get the Sandworm, the Worm Riders. So I use Power Play on the Fremen, get that water, which is going to be useful no matter what. 2 influence with the Fremen is great, it's one of my highest priorities. And then I'm ready to take this if the opportunity comes up. It may not come up. This, more than any other deck builder... Oh, I do have the chance to put troops in. This, since they both have 0 in their garrison, I could win this. 2 entry cards into influence is actually, it's not nothing. They both got big hands, and they could potentially gain troops and put them in. But I don't think they're going to have, like, this guy's not going to have 3 troops in there, is he? It might be worth going for it. I usually don't bother with early conflicts, but I just sort of stumbled into this one, and if I do end up playing Gurney this round, then it would be very worth it. Let's do at least 2. I'm tempted to just go all 3 and just try and brute force it. I never normally spend 3 troops for this kind of reward. It's just, it feels very serendipitous, doesn't it? That like everyone's out of troops right now. And I happen to have landed on combat space. I wasn't even really thinking about it, but just, I love to get a win like that where just like, oh, this wasn't even my strategy, but here I am. Yeah, if I could, let's go for it. Oh, I can only put 2 in. Okay, that makes the decision easier. That's because there's a limit when you land on a combat space. You can only put in however many troops you gained with that action, plus 2. And I gained none at all, so I can only put in 2. Let's see how this goes, because by the time it comes my turn again, we'll see if people are going to commit. Because in fact, everyone will have spent all their agents by the time it comes around to me again. So that's good information. Yeah, so this guy's just hit level 2 on this track and got a victory point. I hit level 2 on the Fremen and I've got a victory point for that. Those are not exclusive, everyone can get those. He stole the spice. That's okay. It's looking good on the combat front. No one's challenging me there. No one has more agents. They can play intrigue cards. They can have daggers. Actually, yeah, Red could well have some daggers in his hand that make this... that give him more than my combat score. Make him win it. I'm not going to go crazy trying to stop that from happening. The choice I'm making here now is... if I play Gurney, I'm going to lose 2 persuasion. Then I don't have enough to buy Worm Riders, even if no one gets it first. If I revealed now, I definitely get Worm Riders. I may win the combat. Oh, and... no, I don't have the money to do that, do I? If I did have the money, I'd probably do Gurney's thing rather than use the intrigue card, because the intrigue card is more precious. The other thing I could do is completely change strategy. Use diplomacy to go get this, which is 2 troops and some influence, and then really in a good position to get their alliance, which is another victory point. And I still have enough persuasion for the 6. These guys have big hands, which makes me think they're going to be able to grab the 6, grab the Worm Riders. I mean, I do go last, so that means I won't get this. They got good sized hands, and yeah, damn. This game has an amazing ability to create really difficult decisions. It always feels like you're always caught between. Both these things seem very doable. I mean, a mad idea would be to use him and go here, where I spend my 2 water, I draw 3 cards, so I just have an insane loads of persuasion. That would probably... no. It would help with this. I'd almost certainly draw a dagger. Could draw 2 daggers. It's not a huge priority. The water cost there puts me off. Could just go for more intrigue cards and just stock up on troops. Since I'm spending a lot, then I definitely get this probably. It's all about the Worm Riders. Do I sacrifice this whole turn for the Worm Riders? Or can I just do enough with this one turn that it makes sense to do it? I'd be happy to get Fremen Death Commando as well. Actually, maybe not. Don't know. My gut is telling me get the troops. But I definitely can't get the Worm Riders. Maybe this is the other way of getting troops, isn't it? I go to Fremen. I think that's good. I'm going to do that. Like the idea of locking up this alliance early. I'll get the water back if I get the alliance. And no one's going for this. But since I don't have any daggers, I am just going to put 1 more in, because I've grown attached to the idea of winning this one. And since I gained 2 troops, I can afford to do this. I think that's enough. Oh, he had 3 daggers. Oh, it's close. He did get fucking Worm Riders. Damn you. He had 8 persuasion. Holy shit. It's looking good on the combat though. It looks like I will win this unless he plays. Oh, he doesn't even have any intrigue cards. I'll definitely win this. Great. So chaos is happening in the shop. not trying to keep up with all of this. It may end up. It's a shame not to get the Worm Riders, but I still got troops, and I have 6, so I could get 2 different 3 things. And this one is good because it lets me go to the troop dump space. It's called Highliner, this space, where you pay 6 and you just win the combat, basically. I like this card as well. I like going to the Bene Gesserit space. That's the purple bit. That lets me trash cards and draw cards. And the fact that she's flexible, she can be either persuasion or daggers, is nice. So I wouldn't mind getting both of those. I also like the voice, to be honest. The voice, it's not a very interesting card in itself, except that it lets you ban other people from the board space. So things happened, last time I had the voice, this happened like twice in the game, where it would be my turn first, and I can't afford Highliner. I need 6 spice, I don't have 6 spice, but one of these spaces has enough spice for me to get that. And so I'm able to use the voice to go to the spice place and ban everyone else from using Highliner until it's my turn again, and now I can afford it and take it. And that's like a big win. I mean, saying that makes me think that it's a good combo with space travel. Space travel is the one I'm most sure of. I'll buy that and see what comes up instead. Oh, if that had come up first, god damn it. I like that one a lot. This one gets you money, which is rare, and then it lets you spend money to get victory points. Not on the same turn, not on the same round even, but that would be especially good for me because I've got 2 different ways of turning money into troops and getting those into the combat late. So, very annoyed I can't buy it. Maybe next time I'll have my signet ring and I'll be able to reserve it. And I've been pretty good, I think, with my purchases, making sure that I have a good persuasion score in general. So, Bene Gesserit Sister just gets you to a good space. This one is horrible to play against, and it's better for agent moves than this one because it can go to blue spaces as well. Or should I go for the voice and do the spice trick? It's a question of, like, do I actually want to try and go for the Bene Gesserit track? I'm definitely going for the Fremen track. And I'll definitely want to get up to at least 2 on the Bene Gesserit track. I could see myself like never using the daggers here, because the 2 persuasion is going to be good the whole game pretty much, which makes me more inclined to go for something like Test of Humanity. Yeah, let's do Test of Humanity. So, like, I hate to play against it, and the thing it does to the enemy has to be good, right? It is good that they discard a card. I just never feel that benefit because I don't really know. I don't have time to keep track of what they discarded. I don't know what was in their hand, what they're going for or anything. So yeah, I've won the combat. That is lovely. So I'm going to get a free influence with any faction. Part of me, it's tempting to just lock up the Fremen Alliance, but I think I'm hard to touch on this, because even if someone leaps 2 ahead, I've just got to take 1 step and I get it still. What I like to use this kind of thing for is a faction I'm not going to visit that much. Villagers, I find them expensive to visit. I need the spice to do this one, which is what I want to do. This one is fine, but it's just, this is, you get one intrigue card, and then this weird icon means that if other people have 4 or more intrigue cards, they have to give you one, which does happen with the AI a bit more than with regular players, but it's pretty niche. So maybe might want to do this, because I've just invested a bit in going to Bene Gesserit, which means my worry is I won't end up going there enough to actually get anywhere. Or, actually, Emperor is a good idea, because I'm not going to go for this space again, probably. I'm never going to go for this space. And this gets me the extra VP. So the other thing you want Solari for is to get your it's called a Sword Master. Oh, interesting. Looking forward to seeing what my intrigue cards are too. Deploy any number of garrison troops and tiebreaker. That's 2 of the least exciting ones. Oh, they've gone there. I don't mind being overtaken here. I'm not going for the alliance. So I don't have any faction cards this time, so I can't go to any of these spaces. Which actually makes me think, I've got 7 influence. I could reserve opulence. Ooh. That seems like a good idea. So the Swordmaster, having 3 turns every round instead of 2 seems amazing at first. You're like, oh my god, of course you want that as soon as humanly possible. And then you realize, well, every time you send an agent, you're losing something on the reveal phase. This round, I've got some very low value things I wouldn't mind spending, but they only take me to green spaces, and there aren't 3 green spaces I want to go to. So early game, like I no longer think this is the first thing you want to prioritize, because sending 3 agents, I've just had a lot of situations where I have 3 agents and I don't want to spend them because I'm like, if I do that, I won't be able to, both I will lose persuasion from spending the cards, and then also if other people only have 2, then me spending my 3rd means I go after all of them, even if it was my first turn. My turn first, I should say. So, since I am not going to go to any faction spaces, I could stock up on spice. This is quite tempting. Just 1 water for 3 spice. I've got no spice at the moment. It's restricting me here. I don't like the idea that I might have Bene Gesserit access and then not be able to do it because I don't have the spice. And long term, good to build up spice for this thing. I like that, I think, more than anything. Because I've been neglecting that. So I'm going to reserve opulence for myself. I think it's going to fit nicely with my build. Deploy troops. Doesn't look like red's going to get much done, does it? Should I put in 1? Just hope I get that Solari. Work towards my Swordmaster. I think it's worth 1. In theory, I've got quite a good troop engine with my deck. I guess that's it. So I want to keep 5 persuasion. That should be no problem. This is actually very nice because I'll get to spend my 2nd agent without... It'll have to be a dagger, won't it? Because I can't spend a convincing argument. Yeah, that's a little bit awkward because there's nothing I really want to do with a dagger. 1 troop and 1 persuasion is fine. I only need 5. I'll end up with 7. And he actually did put 1 in. That's funny. So I may not get 2nd place here. That's actually a reason to hold the daggers back. And it's making me think, like, if I spend a dagger, it would be to go here. With that, I get a troop and a persuasion. I don't need the persuasion. The troop is nice, but it can't go in the battle this time because it's not a combat space. And I lose a dagger, which may be the difference between 1st and 2nd place, or sorry, 2nd and 3rd place here. There is no 3rd place in this conflict because it's only a 3-player game. I do have this tiebreaker. Like this thing, you'd usually spend it on a bigger conflict than this, but that gives me some security. So getting 1 troop for future turns, it's not high value, but it's not nothing. I think I'll do it and risk needing the intrigue card. Definitely, if the intrigue card ends up being able to get me 1st place, I would do that for sure. Wow, they both went there. That space is so expensive. And it gets you troops, but you can't put them in this time. It gets you money. I suppose they want the money for their Swordmaster, which is fair enough. But spice-wise, it's so expensive. Now that's nice, because that person gets 2 troops. The first person to... Actually, no, sorry. Anyone who reaches this point gets this reward. And that is 2 troops. So no one's up their game on the combat, and they're all spent now. They've only got 1 intrigue card each. Suddenly I'm the intrigue guy. And I can spend my tiebreaker to win it. Like, outright win it. That's great. And I've got 7 persuasion, which I didn't even really need. So, yes please do this. I mean, I better just check. This one is crazy. Oh, the reveal phase. 2 persuasion, 2 spice. You know, there's an argument that when there's 2 good cards out there, and one of them's reserved for you, you should buy the other one, because then other people can't get either of them. I'm first to reveal here. I think that's because the Earl, although it was his go first, he used the Mentat, which is like an extra agent for just this turn. Alright, this is actually really tough. Just clocking up 2 free spice every time she's revealed is very good. That said, that's only if you don't spend her. And then the idea of... Well, actually no, that's okay, because this thing... Each opponent discards 2 cards if you have another Bene Gesserit card in play. That means if you already played one this turn, so it's quite finicky. You'd have to have another Bene Gesserit card in your hand and spend it before this one. And this one can only go to Bene Gesserit spaces and the Empire spaces. Emperor spaces. And that's pretty niche. I might be better off with just this. I'm about to get a ton of money, but it's still not enough for my Swordmaster. And this thing converting 6 to V. I imagine that'll happen once. It'll be hard to make it happen twice, because just having that 6 on hand when it comes up is tricky. But yeah, just a VP is nothing to sniff at. I think I go for my reserve thing, and then I get the voice as well. I like that. In fact, there's the other side of this, which is, if that's your plan, you should buy the voice first, because what if it's replaced with another 5-cost card that's even better than Opulence? I probably won't do that, but... That one. That's fine. It doesn't change my plan, though. Okay, that was a good... I'm doing good deck building. It's round 4 of 10. This is probably as late as I want to be really investing in deck building. Oh, damn it, he did go up. That's fine. I was going for second place anyway. There's only 2 in it. He's actually kind of crazy to spend intrigue cards. Oh, that wasn't intrigue cards, that was just his reveal. Oh, the worm's back. Huh. No, there's no point in me spending this. It wouldn't get me to first place, and I'm guaranteed second place, so fine by me. Yeah, it's a game that, like, I think of it as having like a tide to it. Like there's like it's choppy waters. It keeps pushing you in different directions, and it's really the flow of who gets to go first. You know, the Highline is a good example. Like this thing, if you get to use it, you'll probably win the combat. Later on, from I think round 6 onwards, you'll start to see combats where the top prize is 2 victory points, and you know there might be 3 of those in a row. If you could get that every single round, you would just win the game. Like there's nothing anyone could do. Like it's possible to put in more troops than that in a single round, but it's just if you could do it consistently, no one could keep up because you're gaining those troops. They're free. They don't come from your garrison. They're just like, yeah. They're not free. They're extremely expensive. They cost 6 spice. And so what I was saying is, having that 6 spice when it's your turn first is the key to being able to do that. And in fact, if I'd drawn the voice right now, I could do it. I would do it if I had things. I don't have a great hand, actually, but it's okay. I've got this, which is interesting to me. Oh, you know what? I could do the 6 for a VP now. So I don't spend this to go anywhere, and instead I just gain the VP by other means. Gain the Solari by other means, and then I just spend it in the reveal phase. That's very tempting. Ooh, lots of decisions to make here. I like that idea a lot. Because you look at this card and you think, okay, well, the first few times you draw it, you're going to use to get the Solari. Then later you spend that Solari. But actually, I'm on 4 already from that conflict. I could just get 3 here with a Signet Ring, which would also reserve a card. I could reserve Worm Riders. Ooh. So I reserve Worm Riders. I get 3 Solari. I've got enough for to use Opulence. I lose 1 Persuasion here. It's down to 7. Worm Riders will only cost me 5. So on the next thing, I can afford to spend Gurney Halleck and lose the 2 Persuasion that he has. Ooh, this could be a good round. So, let me think it through again. I use Signet Ring to get 3 Solari. And reserve Worm Riders. Yes. Set aside a card. I'd like this one, please. Oh, that's a good card. But that's okay, it hasn't prevented me from getting it. And I think I prefer the spice guy. Oh, he's spending his to get the spice, that's interesting. Okay, so yeah, he spent it to go here. This place gets you a spice anyway. They're all going pretty hard on this one. I might stay out of it, although I'm about to spend Gurney Halleck. And man, I already liked Opulence. I've been cursed with this card where it keeps coming up in the shop as the replacement for what I bought. In fact, I think that's how it came out this time, right? And usually I'm cursed in that to never actually be able to acquire it. So I'm very happy I got it. Even with this character who can reserve things, I've had it where like I can't, because it's the thing I reserved. It just hasn't worked out in the past. So I'm going to spend Gurney, and that'll take me down to 5. That's fine, because the card I reserved is only going to cost 5, because I reserved it. And to be honest, I think the intrigue space is a good one. It leaves me open to being stolen from, but I could get out of that by spending something. I could go here. Actually, since I have no water, maybe this is a good idea to keep my options open in terms of harvesting spice later. Because I don't want to spend any of these cards, certainly not that one. This one would be a waste. But if I get a 4th one, I would want to spend one of them right away because I don't like being stolen from. And that they actually like to do that, so it would happen. Definitely, like, in general, an entry card is worth more than a water, but since I'm water poor, I think this makes sense. And I could, with this... Oh, I forgot he draws a card. I'm rolling in Persuasion. So, I could put 5 troops in, I think. Right? I gained 3, plus 2 is 5. I could, like, storm this one. It's not the right time, I don't... 1 VP is nice, but it's not a huge deal. It gets you control of this place, which means every time someone goes there, you get 1 spice. That is good. But he's gone in for 3. I can have no daggers on my reveal. He probably does. I could just go in for 4 and see what happens. Like, the idea of my deck is I get lots of troops in general. I also didn't spend my spice this time, and I got water, which is setting me up for having enough spice. Like, this is the round for me to go first. By the time it comes around to me again, I'll have 6 spice spare, I would say. And that would be... I won't do the maths on the rounds. Thinking about going for it. No, I should keep them back, because this card lets me use my huge backlog of troops to win a really important conflict. So, yeah. I am still tempted to spend 4. No. This is good. Everything's good. And I could put in 2 and compete for the water. No, that doesn't make sense. It's great they got a lot of troops. Don't let that go to your head and spend them all on a goal that's good but not amazing. I should really look up this Fremen thing before too long. I feel like I haven't drawn at faction cards in a long time. Oh, I'm real glad I didn't go for this. He is going big. So, I can get Worm Riders, no problem. I think... Yeah, I'm going to have the Alliance. So this is a 6 daggers card, or 2 free spice. It's definitely going to be the thing I get. The only thing I was thinking is if you are going to spend 2 on something, you should do it first. I don't think I am going to spend 2 on anything, because it's this or this. Neither of them are great. That one says trash this card to get an entry. This card doesn't let you trash this card. You have to find some other way of trashing this card, which is a thing I want to do in general, but I don't want to buy a card just to trash it. I'm inclined to not get anything else and just spend this 6 to get my VP, which is beautiful. I think some people would say that was better spent on my Swordmaster first, but again, I'm spending the right number of agents most turns. I'm not wishing I could go to more of these places. I guess that's because I'm still very focused on deck building. I should probably forget about it now, but I would like to trim my deck now. That's the thing I'd love to be doing. And I probably have time to like trim my deck and get the spice back in time to do Highliner on an important turn. So, the voice could be interesting now. Because I'd love to get this space. Oh, actually, maybe I just want this one. So this is 5 spice for 2 water. This is 3 spice for 1 water. Maybe this is better. What I was thinking is the voice lets me go to... I could go here, which gets me water. I could use the voice to block off this space and then get it next turn. That's... I think if I had the 2 water, this is worth it. Since I don't, maybe this is better. Because I could use the voice to go there and block off something else. And I'm thinking about maybe doing the Bene Gesserit space. I've got 7. This. I'm going to try and stop thinking about this so much now. I've got a bunch of cool cards. You don't get to shuffle your deck that many times in this game. So the thing Persuasion's good for now is going towards Spice Must Flow, which is cost 9, just gets you a VP. It's not a good card to have in your deck, but it's the VP is nice. And that you tend to get by drawing cards, so I could go to this place, trash a card, draw a card. It's a good time to do it because there's stuff in my discard pile. It's quite common for your discard pile to be empty. And you can trash from your discard pile or your hand. Obviously it's better to trash from your discard pile because that doesn't affect this turn. So yeah, I can do both, can't I? I can go voice to here, block this one, and then I'll have a sort of, not a surplus of spice, but certainly enough spice to do this. The other rationale would be going here first because the cards you draw might change your plan, but I don't think that's important enough. The other thing I could be thinking about is getting my Swordmaster, but I'm sort of wondering about never getting it. Should I go in this conflict? Solari is very nice for me, actually. Everyone else is fairly weak. I'm not going to get any more troops this turn, but I could maybe draw Gurney Halleck. No, I've got 3 cards. I'll draw some of these. Actually, then... I'd like to draw a convincing argument. I don't really want to draw these guys because they're really good for sending agents places. And I don't have any agents left. It's actually making me rethink doing this. I can undo it if I want. No, I like the spice. What I could do with my... yeah, with my next turn I could sell it and get enough for my Swordmaster. Round 6 of 10. This is the problem. Early on I don't get it because you don't want to send that many agents. And then later on I don't get it because I'm like, well, the game's going to be over soon. Like, I can't get it this round. I could get it this round, actually. If I abandon this whole plan and I just spent my first thing to sell the spice, second thing to go buy the Swordmaster. Someone's already there, but it doesn't matter because they can't block me. You know, that might be a good idea. I did want to prune my deck. But I don't want to draw the cards, really. I'd like to draw those next turn, when I won't be first. Ooh, yeah. Okay, here it is. So, round 6 out of 10. They're about to get good. This is not a good card, which actually makes it more likely next round will be a good one, like a double victory point. This guy, so Paul's going first this round. Next round, he'll go first. He has 0 spice, so he can't take Highliner. If I don't draw any cards, I'm guaranteed to draw access to Highliner. And I'll have, if I don't spend any spice, I'm guaranteed to have 6 spice. So, if I spend my whole turn... no, shit, my plan was to sell spice, wasn't it? Yeah, there's no way to... I need all of the spice. to do this. I could just go to regular spaces and come by Solari, honestly. But that's not going to get me at this turn. But the stuff I was saying made a lot of sense, but it doesn't. It's a good reason not to draw cards this turn, not to go here this turn. I get that. I might want to use this turn just to spite people. You do, although you only have to send one troop out at a time, you kind of have to decide your whole turn in advance, but then of course people can, well, with any other character people can block you pretty easily. This character is harder to block. So, I shouldn't get my Swordmaster this turn, because I've got a really good setup here to be able to highliner next turn on a 2VP battle. That's one of the biggest wins you can have in the game. Got to do that. Therefore, I'm going to try and fully undo this just so I can look at my options better. I don't want to do this. I think I do want to do this. It's just a question of what am I planning to do next and what card would I like to hold back for it. Maybe I just get troops in intrigue, or maybe I'd get the 3 Solari at least. Maybe I do that. It might be fun. What's a good space to like stop people from going to? There isn't a great one actually. Alright, I'm going to stop overthinking this. And I'll just block something like... Well, if I don't have a strong preference, maybe I should block the thing I'm intending to use. I don't think anyone's going to go there, but... Deploy troops? Not really, although since I am going to get Highliner next time, I could afford to go big on this. They've got nothing in the garrisons. I also got this intrigue card. It's probably good to just put 2 in, because that's the max I can do anyway. If no one else is going for it, then I might waltz into it. They probably will, but if it got to the point where, like, you know, this all wraps up and the most troops in there is 4, then maybe I use this and send the rest of mine in. So I am thinking that I should send this. Not thinking too much about deck building. I don't know, I feel like I might be pulling myself in too many different directions with this. But it's really awkward because every other option involves drawing these cards that I really want to make sure I have next round. Okay, he's bound to send some troops in now. 1 troop. He's holding 3 cards back. Oh, this guy's got 4 intrigue cards now. Oh no, you spend them already. Okay, I've really got to lock this down next time. I think if I get my way, the 2 things I do next time, assuming the combat is good, is Highliner to win it, and then use one of the other cards to go here. Because I'm going to draw this thing, which lets me go to Highliner, this thing, which also lets me go to Highliner, but would also let me go to Fremen, so I know which way around to do that. I have 2 daggers to reveal, so I'm going to be fine in this combat. No one else can send any more things. He's out of it. Holy shit. I'm going to win 2 influence with 2 troops. Paul Atreides has 3 cards back. He could certainly have more than 2 daggers. In fact, he's the guy who's got the worms. I haven't paid attention to whether he spent this round. But after he reveals, I think I still have a chance to play a combat card at least. Yeah, it's not worth spending an intrigue card on this yet. So, 4 stuff and nothing especially in mind to spend it on. I could go for this. because the daggers are going to be increasingly useful. This might be good. Now, spice has been quite tight though. I don't have a great spice income. Worm Riders is going to help with that a bit, but it's not going to come up that much. Tempted. Oh, if there's anything with a Fremen icon on it, I would get it. I'm worried I'm giving myself very little access to the Fremen, and I want to get this alliance, and then I also want to like keep it. I want to secure it. Yeah, that is alarming actually. I've got very little access to the Fremen, which makes me not want to buy more cards that don't let me access the Fremen. But this one would help me get Fremen access even if I can't go there, so that's a good argument. Oh, Duncan Idaho's good. Dumbest name in Dune. Damn, the Earl is kind of running away with this. I think that's good. He had 0 daggers. That's very nice. Love to see that. It's looking increasingly like I might just win this. I think it's my sort of opportunity to play combat stuff first. I don't think I will. I don't think... He'd have to play 4 just to tie 4 daggers. I think I just skip it. Yeah, he's not doing anything. Wow. Okay, so I can use this to lock up my Fremen alliance. It doesn't lock it up, but it will, get it. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, I've got to do that. Now, who should the other one be? Probably Bene Gesserit, since I haven't been there yet, and I want to at some point. Oh wait, no, Spacer Guild, because I'm about to go there, and then that way I get a VP out of it. So I get water for this, which is nice. Up to 4 VP. And then next turn, next round, I should get to go here. Oh, god damn it, it's a shit one. It's a shit one. You almost never get 2 shit ones in a row in the back half of the game. I think it's round 6 onwards where they get good. I don't think you have to wait till 7 generally. So I think we've had bad luck there. Damn it. Okay, so I'm still going to go to Highliner because just the amount of troops you get is crazy. I can also do Gurney Halleck. Oh shit. Oh, this is actually quite awkward because now I do want my Swordmaster. And I don't have the money for it. I could get the money for it, but it would be my whole turn. I wouldn't end up doing Highliner. I definitely want to do Highliner, so I'm going to do this. Of note is I have 10 Persuasion, so if I can end with 9, I can get a Spice Must Flow for another victory point. This double thing, it's good. Like, I can turn that into a victory point. It's not 2 victory points. Gotta do this. So it's a VP in itself. I mean, this is bad news, but it makes me extra glad I bothered with the last combat. And maybe with this one, no. This card is getting better and better the longer the fight goes on, because now we're going to have 8, 9, 10. 3 more fights, potentially. I mean, I think Thorvald is going to get to 10 before that, but potentially 3 more fights. I think all of which are going to be double VP, from my knowledge of this deck. Deploy troops now. Yeah. Some, right? I'm not going to need 8 for the next thing. I could just throw like 2 in. I'll have another chance. Even second place here would be nice because of 3 spice. I've just spent all my spice, so. Oh, he's played his Worm Riders. He's got 12 spice, that's crazy. Oh shit! I don't like how this guy's closing on me here. Oh, this sucks, because now... Oh no. So, to take this alliance from me, he's got to equalise with me and overtake me. He can't do it this time. Oh. Huh. I just realised this wasn't my round to go first. Next round was my round to go first. This was just a nice round where he couldn't get it before me. So in theory, I could do it again next time. Except I've got no space or icons here. Literally none. That's not good. Yeah, so I won't be doing it next time. Just thinking about whether to... I could secure this. It's annoying because I have 3 water, which is more than I need. And going to a space that just gets me water is pretty bad. Wish I got my Swordmaster. Do you think buying that victory point was a bad idea? I could have spent that card. Let me just look at it again. Opulence. Can only go to the Emperor space. So you'd spend it probably to get the 2 Solari from the Emperor, so you get 5 Solari with it, which is good, and an influence. That probably would have been better, wouldn't it? It's just it's such a precious opportunity to just buy a victory point. It's very hard to pass up. So, I was looking to use Gurney. I mean, I could buy one of these cards, lets me go to fold space, but the problem is I've got 10 cards in my draw pile, so that's going to be all the stuff I draw. Oh, hey! Hey! If I am rich in water and not loving what I'll draw next time and wanting to use Gurney, why don't I go here and draw a shit ton of cards? Because that means I will definitely get a Spice Must Flow. I get to add all these troops. This guy's gone up to 8. He's the fucko's snaking me on this Fremen thing, so if he gets those 2, it would absolutely make sense for him to steal this from me. I'm also his closest rival, I don't know if they factor that in, but... So maybe I go hard on him. And this works on a lot of different levels, because I might draw a lot of daggers. I have drawn a lot of daggers. I've drawn a lot of daggers, so I'm definitely going to try and win this now. I've got 12 persuasion. I wish it would summarize how many daggers you have somewhere, but that is 6. I guess it's just 6. So, yes, I'm going to deploy troops. And I can deploy a lot. I've got 8. There are 4 in there right now. My gut instinct says that I win it with 4, because I've got 6 daggers. But since I have so many in reserve, I might as well just sweeten the deal a bit. I've got a tiebreaker as well if I need it. I think that's strong enough. I mean, red's got 2 more troops to use, 2 more agents to use, which you could do various things with. I don't think he can win this. He's got 2 in there currently. He'd have to add 3. He can certainly add 2, no problem, but he's got no garrison, so I think he's not really a contender. Oh, okay, that changes things a bit. Oh no, it doesn't really. He could take the Mentat. He's doing 4 agents this turn. Oh, he bought power play. Okay, he bought power play. He didn't use it. We're okay. So he's revealed now. He had no daggers. So I am fine on winning this combat. You know, there's intrigue cards he could play, but I don't need to worry about that. So I just reveal. I got 16 to his 8. I've won this. I wish it was a more important fight. One thing I could do with it is literally just lock up my Fremen Alliance. It's boring as fuck, but it does work. This is an interesting one. So I'll get the... Yeah, I've got to get the 9. This was a good move though, because this turn, because now I've only got 6 in my draw pile. So next turn I will just draw these. In fact, I can be pretty sure what they'll be. I'll get Opulence. I'll get Opulence, which is interesting. Almost certainly. And then that means the turn after, it gets shuffled again. So stuff I buy now is actually relevant. Duncan Idaho is good. It's not like a huge deal now, I would say, but... So no, these 2 are both Space and Guild things, but they don't let you go to the Space and Guild space. I would definitely buy something and let me go to the Space and Guild space. Spending spice to get money and influence is pretty good. Has anyone got the Spacing Alliance? No, we're all dead equal on that. Might be quite a good one to go for. The reason I'm not just going to Spice necessarily immediately, I almost certainly will buy it, but just if you are going to buy something else as well, you should buy that first, just in case, like, what's the one that I would go for? The Chome Syndicate is a huge one that gets you influence from every faction. So I think I'm going to buy this. Okay, that is nothing to write home about. So I will get Spice Plus Flow. That's a VP right there. Now it's getting a lot closer. And assuming I do win this combat, he'll have a chance to play Intrigue, but he has to do it first. This guy's still going. I mean, he's going for the combat. He has a Worm Riders too. Actually, in his deck, he has a Worm Riders and a thingy. Oh, it's alright, it's revealed and he didn't have anything. We're fine. He's... With an Intrigue card, he could snake it from me. Oh, this guy's killing his own troops for victory points. That's an Intrigue card that you can kill some of your own people for. I might play the Tiebreaker. My instinct... Hey. Did I just lose one? No, he just gained one. Is that right? Let me see the log. Oh, he just gained one from the thing I just said. Right. For some reason, that I think he was on 7, but I misremembered it as me being on 7. I'm sort of tempted to play this. There's 5 difference. He's already revealed. He's only got 1 Intrigue card. There is an Intrigue card that can do that. That can do 5 difference. I think it does 6. So this would make the difference there. I'm just thinking, like, the next time I go hard on something, it's going to be with this. Maybe that. I might not need this. The end game half of this is useless. I mean, it's extremely unlikely to be a factor. I got a 5 head start. I feel like I don't need to... If he gets instead of me, it's not actually the worst thing, because he's not really threatening me on anything. He's not going to take my Fremen Alliance. Okay, we're good. So this is going to be actually a very hard decision. 2 influence. So whichever one I... If I go for Space and Guild, I get the Alliance, and I don't have the Alliance. That's great. I can go with them, and I just get 2 VP, which can't be taken away from me. Something to be said for that. I go for Fremen, and then this guy can't take my Fremen Alliance from me. I think I'm not going to get a chance to go Fremen next time. Oh, it feels so bad to just spend it. I got 2 influence here, and I'm going to spend it to not get a victory point. But if this guy overtakes me, he's got power play. I don't know where he is in his shuffle, but there's various ways he could snake this from me. If I get it now, it's literally mine forever. And Space and Guild, maybe I go there twice. I just buy a card that gets me influence with them. Emperor, there's no point going for it because someone's already got the Alliance. Bene Gesserit, I'm still sort of kidding myself that I might organically get it. I'm going to do it. It would just feel so fucking bad if he took it from me. And he is my competition. Like, he's probably going to... Yeah, here we go. This is what we're talking about. So, Paul's in a great spot to get Highliner. Hey. Okay. I was a little bit puzzled that it was grayed out. So I can't get it because I don't have the cards. I don't have a card that lets me go there. I can temporarily stop someone else getting it, but that's not that interesting. I'm inclined to use, let's see, so 6 for the VP is nice here. What I'm sort of thinking about is if I... Oh, so Earl doesn't have the spice for it. Paul does. If Paul gets it, he's going to be hard to beat on this. Not impossible, but hard. Can I... Just thinking, money is really useful here. Because with one set of money I can get 3 more troops and put them in the conflict, winning me 2 VP. If the Earl won this, it's game over. If I win this, I'll be on 8. I could potentially win it and get the 6 here. And get 9. I'm just trying to think, is there some way I can get 10? It would be a hell of a turn. I was thinking about going to get... If I go get Spice first... I can't even go to Bene Gesserit space. How does that happen? I thought I had a load of those cards. I also got to be a bit careful about my intrigue cards. Anyone who goes here can steal one from me. That's what I could use the voice for. Because now I'm not too worried about who goes here. I can't go here. I can't stop Red from going there. I could. The voice works for... Oh! Oh, excuse me. They can't send their next... Oh, sorry. They can't send their next agents here this round. I was... In my head, it's like next turn, and that is what it is. It's just that the phrasing says this round. The round is the whole thing. But then it says their next agents here. They're this round. So they're saying it is next turn, basically. So yeah, I can't permanently stop him going there. So what I could do is go get some spice, block people from doing that to me. Then sell the spice for 8. So that I can potentially... Then I'd have 12. That would let me spend 6 to get a VP, and I can still use this card to get 3 more troops in the fight. And I'll be using this one to put my troops in the first place. So... one to there. One to there. That's both my agents. And that's 8 Solari. 12 total. I'm wondering if there's any way, like, if you get your Swordmaster, you do get to use it this turn. So if I already had 8, that might be my first move, and then spend the agents to get extra stuff. If I'm doing this, I should probably spend this card right now, so that I can't be stolen from. Feels very weird to have, like, this is a big fight, it's really important, and I'm not going to go to any combat spaces. I mean, I actually will go to combat space, but I don't need to put anything in there. I'd almost be tempted not to, because if I'm going to use this anyway, then... yeah. If I don't need to block anything, like, the only other space I'm interested in is here. The AI doesn't go there very much. I don't think I need to block it. I'm wondering about spending Dune instead of spending the voice, so that I have more persuasion. But persuasion is not going to get me a Spice Plus Flow. The stuff I buy actually could well come up. There's nothing crazy good there. The main thing I'd want is Spacer Guild travel options, and I don't see any. So it probably is worth using the voice. Okay, so I'm going to go here, because that gets me 3 spice. It gives yellow some spice, but not enough that it matters. And I'm gonna... so I could block this, but actually if I'm going to do this now, then I'm under the limit anyway. Yeah, I do that. Can I do it now? Yeah, that's fine, because I'm going to do this later. Then I get to block the board space I want to go to, because I'm no longer worried about this one. And that ensures I'll be able to get Opulence and get a victory point. So I'm not going to put any troops in, even though I want them to be in there. Oh, and I can recall an agent. I forgot about that. Oh, this is the turn to do it as well. Very fucking interesting. Doesn't affect what I'm going to do right now. But that is interesting. What would I do with that? Yeah, no surprise there. Oh, the Mentat's an interesting idea. I wonder if that would have helped me. I can recall an agent. So I can do one more thing this turn than I thought I could. I think there's no way I'm not gonna go get the money I need to get a victory point. Like, that's obviously right. Influence is the other way I can get a victory point, but the only place I can go is Empire Land. Someone's already got that alliance, can't be taken now. I'd like this Bene Gesserit point, but I'm not getting the cards for it. So that's the thing I could do by recalling an agent, is I could draw some cards. But if I withdraw an agent, use them to get cards, I still have to spend my remaining agent to use those cards. And I can't afford to not do this, so I've got to do this. I think... Actually, that's a good point. I don't need to sell all 3. I can just sell 2. I only need 6. Yeah, that checks out. 1 spice isn't much used by itself, but maybe I'm going to get to do this at some point. Yeah, this recalling thing, I'm struggling to think of anything good to do with it, really. I don't want to spend opulence. I can't really use it this turn. I think I'll save it for next turn. This is fun because this is completely misleading. Like, it looks like no one's going that hard on it, and 6 is the number to beat, but actually I've got 8 lurking here. That's what I could do with the recalling troops, actually. No, I couldn't. I've got no cards to take me to combat spaces. Really fucked on travel options here. That's something I generally prioritise, but I just didn't really have the chance. So what I do here is, I believe, I just put every fucking thing in the fight. Yeah, I can't get to 10 this turn. But the thing is, this is a bit annoying because no one else has revealed yet, so they still get a chance to do something about this. But you got to go all in, really. My 2 daggers might become a factor, who knows. Yeah, I still can't see any reason to recall an agent. These, again, no good travel options. Just nothing for factions. So I think I don't buy anything. I've got to actually remember to do this. So yeah, it's looking like a 9 if all goes well. Versus Paul's 3. I mean, he's going to want this bad. If he's got intrigue cards to do anything about it, he will. Oh, son of a bitch! Oh no! Well, I do have tiebreaker. I can get 1 more. Oh, he's got the Bene Gesserit alliance. Shit. Whew. Now he can't possibly have a way to win this, can he? Is he playing... Okay, he played a card. Wandering a reveal turn. Okay, I don't think he has a combat intrigue card. I don't know, actually. I don't think that was his turn to play it. I'm a little bit fuzzy on, like, you know, if it comes to my turn and I pass, and then he plays one, do I get a chance or not? It's going to be hard to win this, isn't it? It goes on 9. There's no more alliances that are really viable. I should probably play this, shouldn't I? I think this is my... There's only 1 in it, and he's got an intrigue card. I've got to do what I can. Oh, you son of a bitch! You son of a bitch, Paul! Oh, it's over. And you're not going to win. You're just giving it to the Earl. You bastard. Ah, 2 in it. That is heartbreaking. This game is over. The Earl has won. Fuck. Yeah, they're all good now. See what I mean about the tides, about like the choppy waters of this game, where like I was so set up to snatch 2 victory points, and then the turn that I had the perfect line on it, it just didn't happen. And then I had the perfect intrigue card to do it, but then so did Paul. And actually it was kind of the fact that I had to play that early was to my detriment. Like, again, I don't fully understand the rules. I don't think I can play a plot after I've revealed, or like, you know, after I've ended my reveal turn, while other people are still doing their shit. Yeah. What a fucking mess. Okay, so I gotta go to Bene Gesserit, and the fact that this draws cards is good, because I might get another Bene Gesserit thing. I have enough for the Highliner, which means drawing cards would be nice too. I can make them all discard a troop. I mean, they've got nothing in the garrison. We've all burnt our best intrigue cards. Maybe I can just sort of... Oh, I want cards, man. I get the 3rd agent, so I could gain water and troops. 1 troop. Put it in the fight. Then next turn, go for this thing if no one's taken it by then. Draw enough cards. Then recall an agent. Then go to Highliner. That's if Paul doesn't do it before me and he's got more agents. Oh, shifting allegiances. Oh shit, I should do this. I could go for the Spacing Guild Alliance. So this guy's going to go to a yellow place or a green place. Do any of those draw cards? Only the Mentat space, and I'm actually just slightly shy of the cost for that. Oh, also I can get a Spice Must Flow right now. I was sort of tempted to just go all in on this thing, which would mean if I play this now, everyone's got to discard a card or lose a troop. That's pretty good. And I could draw a card with it and gain a troop. That's pretty good. I don't do the Bene Gesserit thing at all. Then next turn I do Shifting Allegiances. Or, yeah, let's see. If I get a Spacing Guild card, then I wouldn't. But the water one... I just think someone else can take the water space. Oh, I don't know. Would be really good. Oh wait, no one can block me in the water space. Because it's blue. So I should do that, I think. Be a shame not to spend Shifting Allegiances at all. But I think I'll get a chance to do it. They're both discarded, rather than lose a troop. I would rather they lose a troop, but can't force them, I guess. Yeah, I won't recall an agent before I have to, because it clears the space for other people to take. I'm the only one who can... Ah, shit. Yeah, no. I figured that would happen. That does... It helps me make my decisions, because... Oh my fucking god. Yeah, it's not beatable, is it? It's not beatable. At least it's Paul. At least it's Paul and not the Earl. Oh, the Earl's already got 10. Fuck. Yeah, I'm still on 7. God damn it. So, I think my plan is unchanged, which is I still want to go to the blue place and draw a ton of stuff. That was largely to get the Space Guild thing, which I can't get now. There's loads of ways to get spice right now, but it doesn't really help me. I could go here and get an intrigue card, see if that helps me. Like, Private Army would be nice right now. But then in my draw pile, and the other thing that would be nice is that one. Or I was thinking Worm Riders. I don't see it here. Oh, here it is. Just the daggers are hidden. Yeah. Yeah. Not a lot of great options. Since I kind of invested in this, I'm sort of inclined to go for it. And then I'll recall an agent. I will use Shifting Allegiances, but it sort of matters less what I do with that. I got Worm Riders. So that's 6 daggers right there. 2 plus 6? Is that more than 14? God damn, Paul's caught up with me. This is looking so locked in. It was that one fight last turn, and just like 2 points beat me by. I had a private army waiting. He's revealed already? I suppose, yeah. This is quite a quick one. But I will certainly... Yeah, because literally the game is about to end. I can't win at this point, but... So, I have an agent. I could send them to go get a troop and an intrigue card and still go in this fucking fight. I mean, it might get second place. Maybe that intrigue card does something. I don't want to lose to fucking Paul. Struggling to see how this works. If I could go get the cards again... No, even then. I was thinking about drawing Opulence, but that wouldn't really do it. Oh, does that get me anything? No, I'm already at 2 with a Spice Guild. So it's got to be Shifting Allegiances. That's the only thing that just gets me a VP, because I can reduce my Fremen one and boost this one. I wonder, like, this is a bit mad, but if I use this to go to like a desert space, then I use Shifting Allegiances to boost my Emperor influence. It jumps up there, that gets me 2 troops. I feel like that would count as me getting the troops with that action, and therefore I could put the troops into the combat. I mean, it's not going to bridge the gap, is it? That would be 6 plus 6, which is 12. I feel like an intrigue card is my best bet. It might just be something like that gets me a VP some other way. Oh, I can't use Shifting Allegiances to go there. I can use this, and I can afford the spice, but it doesn't... There is an intrigue card where you spend 7 Solari, I think it is, to get a VP. Chances of drawing that pretty low, and also I wouldn't have 7 Solari, so bit of a non-starter. I've got to spend Shifting Allegiances. It's the only thing that guarantees me a VP. Where the fuck do I go with it? I just go get 1 spice, or I go up here and get a persuasion point? Those are my only options. I've got to do it. So go down with the Fremen, which would be risky any earlier in the game, but the game is over at this point. So, and go up with the Bene Gesserit. Weird, I never went to their spaces the whole game. Fucking Paul is going to beat me by a lot, because he's going to win this fucking combat. God damn, they're both going to have 10. Oh, this is a disaster. It's a train wreck. Yeah, a lot of daggers. Didn't fucking count for anything, they did it. And get Spice Must Flow. Get to 9. And that's about it. I mean, if it does end up being 10, 10, 9, then great. He's not retreating, no. I was going to say. Game second in that fight for what's that's worth. Not fucking much. That intrigue card No, there was nothing I could really do with it. Ugh. See, it's actually fairly close. That's the weird thing about this game, is that there's so many. There was wildly different strategies. This guy was in the fucking gutter for most of the fight, and then right at the last minute, he wins two. Oh damn it! He wins two victory point conflicts. He wins 4 victory points in conflicts in rapid succession, and one of them was fucking rightfully mine. That should have been mine. But yeah, that was the thing I first loved about this game, was like everyone comes at it from a different point of view. Everyone's sort of going for a different kind of victory, and yet we all end up so tight usually. Sometimes there's 3 points in it, 4 points in it, which is still not that much really. It actually might be a trick of like only having 10 victory points as the gold standard, that it always feels close because the absolute number is very small. Because actually, if you had a game where it was like, you have 1,000 victory points and I have 600, I feel like shit, I was nowhere near. Whereas if it's you have 10 and I have 6, I'm like, I could have like. But yeah, you can see I'm getting no better. That's one of my worst performances. And I don't feel like I'm not learning stuff. I feel like I'm learning stuff all the time. But there's something elusive about it. There's the way that it shifts and ebbs and flows. You can just be slightly out of sync with it, and like, just the one time I could go big on a fight, I was 2 points short because the other guy had an entry card, and that can just be the game. But that doesn't feel unfair. It feels, it is a kind of randomness, but it doesn't feel like the shitty kind of randomness where like, you rolled the dice better, so you win. But like, damn it, he knew he had that card, and he'd like his decision to go it all in was based on that, and the way I had to reveal early felt like a consequence of all the decisions I made. So you always feel like you had a hand in your failure, even as you repeatedly fail worse and worse each time.